Hi, this video is to demonstrate how to find least square regression line, how to get that equation given a question. So this is the question given to you. R value is given to you in the question stem and the data is given, and we know what is the x variable, what is the y variable for the given data points. So based on that, we have been asked to calculate least square regression line. So we know that y hat is intercept plus slope times x, that is the least square regression line. So I want to first explain the process, how to do that, and then I will walk you over with all the steps. So we know this is the equation of regression line, but we still don't know from this equation this term, that is intercept, and the slope. For slope, we have this formula, that is slope b equals r times s of y or s of x. These are standard deviation of y and standard deviation of x respectively. So r is given to you, and s of y and s of x actually we need to calculate from this data right here. So once we calculate that, we can get the slope. Once we have the slope, we just have to substitute that slope value into the intercept formula, that is a is intercept in here. So we need slope, we can put the slope, we can calculate simple mean of x, mean of y, and that's how we can also get the a. And once we know these all terms, we just get this regression line equation. But you can see that these are the first steps that we need to calculate. So standard deviation using this formula, and mean is this formula. So you can apply the same principle of mean for the y variable, which in this case is overall height, and you can get mean of x as well as mean of y. So this is like the general process overview, and let me now walk you through the process. So you can see that this process is explained in a retrospective manner, so that this being the first step, calculating mean, second standard deviation for x, third standard deviation for y, fourth slope, fifth intercept, and then you got your final answer of equation. So for the convenience, I have already calculated the mean here. I think that's pretty simple complex concept, that you just take all these data points, sum them up, and divide by total number of data points. So 1 2 3 4 5 5. So we already have this as mean x bar, and this as mean of y bar, given from the question, x, y, and the data points. So second step is calculating the standard deviation for x. So you can simply go through this table wise stepwise process, or you can also do it in one step that I will show in the later half of this video. So first, using this table, you know these are the xi that are nothing but your x values, x individual 57.77 and so on till 55.2, 55.2. Once you list these data points, just subtract the mean from them. So mean x bar. So in this second step, we have to subtract individual x values from the mean. So 57.7 minus 49.7, that would be 49, because this is x2 in here, 49.7 . Now let's do the subtraction in here. Now at this point actually the table helps you because you can cross verify whether you are going correct way by checking the sum of this column which is closer to 0, not always because you do some rounding in there. um, so once you know that the value or sum of this column is close to 0, that means you don't have any mistakes till this point. So go ahead and do the next step, that is nothing but squaring these terms, that is square deviation. Once you have all the square deviation, next step, so this is your third step. So next step in this is adding all these terms together, that gives you this total sum. So next step is just dividing by 1 upon n minus 1 and then taking square root. So if you go back to the formula, we have solved this much portion as of now, and then we just have to divide that by 1 upon n minus 1 and take the square root of that. So we are going to take the square root, n in this case is 5, 1 2 3 4 5. And that should give you answer somewhere close to that. So that is nothing but your s of x, that is standard deviation of x. So now you can apply the similar process, similar steps to the y variable. So in this case y variable is overall height. So now just take these data points, calculate the mean for that. Once you have the mean, then subtract the mean from individual values. So mean of y, in this case we got it as 164.7. Do the subtraction there. So after that, just take the square of those terms. That will be the third step. So first is mean, this is second, third. Make sure before proceeding to step 3, you just confirm this sum as close to 0. That is confirmatory that there is no error prior. In the fourth step, you just sum these number to get the sum of squared deviation. That would be somewhere around. And then the last step is taking the square root n-1 of that particular sum. In this case, it will be yi minus y mean same number of data points 5, so n is 5. So that should give you standard deviation of y as 70. So now you know s of x, s of y, r is given to you in the question stem. So just check, r is 1 given to you in here. So just substitute those values. R is 1, s of y is 70, s of x we got it from the previous step, 6.36. And that should be somewhere around 2.66. So that is now is your B, slope, right? Fifth step is using this slope and the mean of x and y. You calculate the intercept A, which is equal to mean of y. Mean of y is 164.7. Minus slope we got from previous step as 2.66 times mean of x. Mean of x we got it as 6.36. Now 6.36 is not the mean, as we can see. Let me show you that. 6.36 is the standard deviation of x, so you should not be taking that. You will need mean of x. So mean of x is 49.7. So be careful not to make such kind of mistake. 49.7, because that is the mean of x we want, not the standard deviation of x. And when you solve this, you should be able to get the answer as 32.7. That is your intercept. Now you know all the values, so just substitute that in final equation. Y hat, or you can say y, is intercept plus slope times of x. So your equation becomes y hat equals, your intercept is 32.7 plus slope 2.66 times x. And you can also write it in terms of y, what is y word stands for and x word stands for, or the variable name. So y overall height and then x knee height. You can also put that in this. So that is your final answer, or the final regression line equation by least square method.